U.S. now looks poised to enter into war with Iran pretty soon, where Trump has told Tehran to evacuate. The Joint Chiefs of Staff are at the White House. The president's ordered the NSC to gather in the Situation Room, and he left the G7 early. Now, with that, you have the Pentagon denying that the U.S. is going to enter the war and says that it's all defensive posturing. Right, but you had Trump saying that he needed to leave early from the G7 for obvious reasons because he has big stuff going on. Right, and Trump, it appears he spent the past 2 hours kind of telling the whole world that we're going to be striking Iran, with the media taking a swing at allies like Tucker Carlson who aren't on board with an American strike in Iran. With Trump calling him kooky and then Marjorie Taylor Greene defending Tucker Carlson over Trump. And all of that is earlier today we reported that another carrier has been to the region and over 32 tankers were sent to southern Europe last night. Additionally, we're seeing other countries moving their military assets out of the U.S. base in Qatar, including Qatar, who have moved some of its own assets to Turkey. And over the U.S. right now, there are at least 7 tankers working together with 5 more tankers taking off and heading east. Something that could possibly indicate that B-1 bombers are already in the air. And that is a U-28 Special Operations Command jet landed in St. John's in preparation to cross the Atlantic tonight. And so for now, are you team nothing ever happens, or do you believe the U.S. is going to be bombing Iran soon? I guess we'll all find out if you're right soon, so follow to stay in the...
Shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I would like to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah, Kodash, and a sincere salutations to the hopeful elect, and also a healthy shalom to the few Akwath who are listening and learning. Lord's willing, this lesson be edifying. And I have a video here that I'm going to play. It's an interview with Professor Muhammad Mirandi. And, he always does entertaining interviews and brings a lot of edification out. All right. And before I get started, let's get 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter, and we're going to start at the 26th verse. It reads, "For the Lord Yahweh knoweth all them that sin against him, and therefore delivereth he them unto death and destruction. For now are the plagues come upon the whole earth, and ye shall remain in them, for Yahweh shall not deliver you, because you have sinned against him." Right. And ultimately, that's what's taking place. We're in the year of judgment. The Heavenly Father has a lot of judgment coming out. Whether it's planes crashing, whether it's volcanoes erupting, whether it's, mid-air collisions with helicopters. The Heavenly Father has more than 1,000 ways to delete you, and you're witnessing it. And nothing brings about mass death more than a world war. And the Heavenly Father has this World War III, or this third woe, popping off. Okay? You're witnessing this skirmish between Iran and Israel intensify, as Israel, the least of the flock, these Amalekites, doing their best to draw America out into this war. Okay? And everything is going according to biblical prophecy's plan. Okay? So it reads, "Behold, an horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east." Right. A horrible vision. Okay? Horrible prophecies written coming from the east, man. Not only is Yahweh Shah HaMashiach going to return with the holy angels from the east to defend Jerusalem, to defend his hopeful elect, but the East or West Asia is a powder keg, okay, ready to explode on command of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay? So real quick, let's play a little bit of this video.
Hi, everybody. Today is Wednesday, June 18th, 2025, and our friend Professor Mirandi is back with us. Welcome back, Professor.
Hi, Nima. Thank you very much for inviting me. Always a pleasure.
Professor, let's get started with the response of the Iranian Supreme Leader to what Donald Trump tried to somehow put pressure through his posts and on his social media, and he was trying to somehow put pressure on the people in Iran, on the public opinion. And he said that you have to leave Iran, evacuate Tehran. And then he said that unconditional surrender and the response from the Iranian Supreme Leader. What is the main message?
Well, first of all, I'd like to apologize. The internet is slow for security reasons. And I came here to Iranian radio and TV to use their internet because it's a bit better. So I hope people can understand what I say. Ayatollah Khamenei's response to this act of terrorism, because Trump's statement about Iranians leaving Tehran is an act of terrorism. This is a huge city with a population during the day, maybe up to, 13, 14, 15 million, and at night, maybe 10 million. I don't know the exact numbers, people could look it up. But the government administration, by the way, a few days ago, they allowed people to work from home, many government employees, and people can use the opportunity to get leave. So a lot of people have left Tehran, and so it's less crowded than before. So after Trump spoke, it really didn't have any real impact. But in any case, it was an act of terror. And of course, the very fact that he's helping the Israelis carry out this war of aggression, which is completely unjustified, is itself a crime against humanity. But Ayatollah Khamenei's speech was effectively stating that he's very confident about the future, that Iran will not be intimidated, that Iran will not surrender by any means, and that if the United States strikes Iran, the harm that Iran will bring to the United States will be far greater than the harm that the United States can bring to Iran. And I think that's basically something that anyone who looks at the map of the Persian Gulf region can understand. The United States has tens of thousands of soldiers in the region, in bases across the Persian Gulf and tiny Arab family dictatorships. But also alongside that, you have these family dictatorships who would be complicit in any act of war against Iran. And that would make them legitimate targets. So the price of oil and gas would go sky high. And that would bring down the global economy and the US economy in particular. And I think Trump is already in deep trouble because we see that Americans are opposed to war. We see the MAGA camp is now divided and the opponents of war are turning against Trump. So if the Iranians hopefully hit very hard, and they will, as soon as Trump does anything, I think things will deteriorate very fast for Trump.
Professor, we know that.
So let's grab Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 24. I have laid a snare for thee, and thou art also taken, O Babylon, and thou was not aware. Thou art found, and also caught, because thou hast striven against the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Right, the old banana in the tailpipe. All right, the Heavenly Father is using Esau Edom's pride and his bravado, all right, to bring about his destruction. You know, Trump talks as if he's going to just waltz into Iran, drop a couple bombs, and win this war. All right. You know, the Iranians, which are the ancient Persians, have a great history of being a war type people. It's not going to be an easy fight. Okay. Matter of fact, this is a map of U.S. bases surrounding Iran. Okay. So just like the professor said, Iran is in a position to do more harm than America can do to them. First off, we've already seen how Iran has destroyed parts of Tel Aviv, sending in hypersonic missiles to completely bypass the Iron Dome. Now, none of these American military bases that you see have a missile defense system as sophisticated as the Iron Dome. So if Iran can easily penetrate the Iron Dome, what do you think it's going to do to all these military bases that's surrounding it? With ease. Okay? And the only reason they haven't done this already is because they really don't want a third world war. All right? But the Heavenly Father is a man of war, and he wants this war. And not only that, that's one way they can easily hurt America. But also, don't forget about the Strait of Hormuz. Okay? So the Strait of Hormuz, who controls that? Who controls the Strait of Hormuz? Iran. Okay? I don't know if I can get a map, but right here, Iran. Iran controls this. All right? And ultimately, just like the Houthis are disrupting the supply chain in the Red Sea currently, Iran can do the same thing with the Strait of Hormuz. Okay? Like the professor said, causing higher gas prices, causing hyperinflation, just causing a mass disruption in America. Okay? So it says, let's see, it provides the only sea passage, the Strait of Hormuz provides the only sea passage for the Persian Gulf oil and natural gas facilities of Qatar, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia to the open ocean. An average of about 20 million barrels of crude oil and oil products move through the Strait of Hormuz each day. All right. So this is a war that Trump doesn't want. Okay. This is a war that he does not want. So from here, let's get Habakkuk chapter 2. We'll start at verse 2, and it reads, "And the Lord Jehovah Ba'ashem Yahushai answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry." Right. And these prophecies are no longer tarrying. All right. We're witnessing these prophecies real time. Okay. The Third World War is getting ready to intensify to a point that changes you people's lives. All right. You're not just going to be waking up doing your everyday routine, going to work and coming home, going to work and coming home, watching TV and so forth and so on. No, it's going to be like 2020, man, with that C-19 when the earth stood still. You people are about to come to a rude reality, man. Okay. So what else do I have? Let's grab. I had a couple. Let me see. This is Luke chapter 12 and verse 49. It reads, and this is Yahushua speaking, "I am come to send fire on earth. And what will I if it be already kindled?" Right. If it be already lit. Okay. When Yahushua HaMashiach crack those clouds, all hell is going to be breaking loose on earth. All right. Jacob's trouble. Okay. War, famine, pestilence. It's going to be a dog eat dog world. Okay. And you're witnessing everything taking place that is going to lead the earth to these type of conditions. All right. World War III, supply chains completely not only disrupted, but coming to a complete halt. All right. All these things are going to bring about this fire, okay, which represents the plagues that the Heavenly Father is going to bring. Okay. So, like I said, the Heavenly Father ultimately is bringing everybody over here to the Valley of Jehoshaphat, to West Asia, okay, for this Third World War playing out in real time. So this is Salakia, come on. Joel chapter 3 and verse 2. "I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahweh, and will plead with them there for my people." All right. Plead meaning the judge. Okay. "And for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations, and part in my land." So that's exactly what the Heavenly Father is doing, man. Okay. That's exactly what he's doing. And let's see, let's end it here. Let me see. I think I had one more. This is Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 4. It reads, "The noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. So what you're witnessing, all right, is the Heavenly Father mustering the host of the battle, bringing all these, the world's armies to West Asia for this galactic battle. Okay, this third world's war, which in the midst thereof, Yahweh Shah Mashak is going to make his return. All right. So stay tuned, man. Things are heating up. Hey, the Heavenly Father is working. And Lord's willing, this was edifying. Shalom, Israel. Wa Abad Babal.